creative beings. So recently I ordered some things on Amazon and decided to grab along this Mijello Fusion 18 palette, and some of my favorite artists use this one, so I was really curious to try it out for myself, especially if one of the main benefits of this palette that it can keep the paint inside moist longer than the usual palettes do. So let's unpack it and try it out. Well, this is quite a big one in comparison to my older palette. Here's my old gouache palette that I still use. Okay. Oh, wow. So I definitely needed to adjust and set it up this camera higher because the palette is quite big. I thought it would be a smaller one. Okay. So it's supposedly watercolor palette. Oh, this is about watercolor mission pens. I see one mixing area and the second one. But I would probably use only this one on top to just get it out, and it would be easier to clean that off. I can see that there are the rubber along the edges, so when it closes up it doesn't let any air to get inside. So that is what probably keeps the paints moist inside. Okay, let's try to set it up. I have my colors here that I want to put into it. The wells are quite deep and I like it. And it says that it's for 18 colors. Well, I don't need that many. The white I don't usually put into the wells. I got into habit putting it on the side. Just because it gives me better access. For this palette I won't use the student grade Schminke gouache that I use currently in this palette, but I will use the mix of different gouache paints that I have currently. So three are the yellows. One will be the Schminke student grade gouache, just because I don't have yellow ochre in other brands. Second one will be Indian Yellow, which is Schminke designer set. Really awesome line. This one is primary yellow. It says tempera gouache, but it's actually gouache and not tempera. Blues. One is cyan or primary blue, but I would not trust the names of it because those are really cheap gouache. They work fine. I haven't noticed any difference from my usual cheaper gouache. And this one is Chag brand Unten, and it's ultramarine deep. So this is nice, warm, deep shade of blue, and this is a cool one. For the reds, I have primary cadmium deep red. This is gonna serve me as a cool red. We'll put one green because I've been recently adding green to my palette just to have a quicker way to get to the greens. And black. I have two whites also to add. One is zinc white, so this one is really good for mixing, and one is opaque white, which will be good for covering, but I won't add them into the wells. I would actually probably put them somewhere here to have quick access. Okay, so now we are closing this palette and I will check it tomorrow and day after. It's really nicely, it's closing really nicely. I don't even feel that it's closed, it's just, and it's closed and it's holding tight. Okay, so I will leave this palette till tomorrow and the day after tomorrow to check on it and see how my colors are doing. And one of the reasons I used the different brands of gouache is also to see whether there is a difference in drying, not because of the palette but because of the brands of gouache. So I'm pretty excited. It is quite weird this palette is so big, but I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing yet. It's day 3 and I already made up my mind about this palette and it is freaking awesome. I mean, yesterday I checked and the paints were in the same liquid state as when I applied them, so that was definitely like a huge win for this palette. But I already checked the paints and I think I checked them like more than 15 times by this point throughout these 3 days, and you can see it for yourself. The paints are still moist, and I would tell that it depends on the paints, but nah, you can see this yellow ochre. It is my Schminke one that I'm using currently, and it's a little bit drier than most of them, but it's still pretty moist. So this airtight technology on this palette really works, which is super important for me in gouache because I use them. When I use them, it's really hard for me to reactivate, and it takes a lot of time to me to reactivate the paints. And this is bad when you're out on plein-air, when you want to, you know, catch the light, catch the mood, and paints do need more time that you want to give them just to work as they should be. So first of all, as you can see, the yellow and white and black pretty much spilled out on the palette, but that's because I locked it and was keeping it vertically. I don't know why did I do that, to be honest. Probably because I just put it back in the box and just to save space I did it vertically, and I shouldn't have been. So don't do that. But overall, it's awesome. I wanted to wait a couple of more days to say exactly for how long these paints will be moist, but I'm really excited to use it already. I want to try it. I want to use it for myself before I will go on plein-air. And of course, when you will be out there on air, the paints will dry faster just because the palette will be open, and this airtight palette won't preserve it from drying out on the air. So for that case, I will just add an extra water to the wells, and they are pretty deep, which should work fine. So yes, I'm really excited to take this palette with me, and by now it doesn't even seem so large. I mean, you have a lot of mixing area, that's good, and I like it. I really like it. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you want to treat yourself with something really awesome and that works, and you use gouache as one of your main mediums, I definitely recommend this palette. And it is once again Mijello Fusion with 18 wells. In one of the future videos, I will definitely mention for how long they are able to stay this liquid, this moist, but by now I'm freaking thrilled. In the end, supplies do not make the artist, but I think it's awesome when they can make art easier and faster. Keep drawing, keep painting, and carry on.